reached out and grabbed my arm, pulling my hand off the keyboard. I looked at him, if only because it didn't actually do much good to stare at my spreadsheet if I couldn't adjust it.
Other hand.
He wagged his free hand at me, his reach limited by the chair back. He would have been able to reach my other hand if he hadn't been trying to show what a cool, approachable teacher he was. Still, I gave him my other hand. I did like him, after all. He tugged at it.
Face me.
I am.
No, really, turn your whole body and face me.
I turned sideways in the chair. The sooner I humored him and did what he said, the sooner I could get back to work. He held both my hands in his and looked into my eyes. I'll admit, it could have been romantic, the two of us alone in the cafe, holding hands, gazing into each other's eyes with the smell of fresh-baked cookies wafting through the air. Did you move those cookies to the cooling rack?
No, I'll do it in a minute. I want to talk to you.
I pulled my hand away and started to push myself up. They need to be moved to the cooling rack. The pans are still hot and the cookies will be overcooked if they don't get moved over. And you know how Mrs. D'Angelo is about everything being perfect. Cool Mr. Cardosi stood up in the awkward way one had to when sitting backward on a chair.
I'll do it. If you go, you'll get distracted and never come back.
As soon as he was out of the room, I turned back to my spreadsheet, even though I knew it only took a second to transfer the cookies.
If I could just figure out what was wrong with the numbers. Matt came back and sat down again, instantly transforming back into Mr. Cardosi. I would have had a crush on him if I were one of his students.
Franny,
he said yet again, prompting me to turn around and let him take my hands. His warm brown eyes smiled into mine. Yes, I would have had a big crush on him.
What do you say we get out of town for a couple days? Get a room at a nice place up in the Berkshires with good room service and a fancy spa. Spend a couple of days alone together, just you and me. What do you say?
At any other time it would have sounded lovely, but I was so busy with the cafe this time of year, getting everything geared up for the summer tourist season. Antonia's Italian Cafe had been a staple of family vacations in Cape Bay for almost 75 years. Multiple generations of families had come through our doors. Grandparents would come in carrying their little grandchildren and reminisce about the days when I was as small as their grandbaby, when they would come in with their children who were now grown and watch as my mother toted me around on her hip as she delivered the coffee and food my grandparents made behind the counter. Summer was our most important time, not just for our bottom line, but for the people who considered a visit or 5 a family tradition. Matty, I started, slipping, as I often did, into using the nickname I'd called him when he was just my buddy from 2 doors down. You know I would love to, but the cafe...
The cafe will be here when you get back.
I know, but it's such a busy time of year.
It's only going to get busier.
But there's so much that needs to be done. There's the gelato freezer and scheduling musicians so we can start having live music nights, and hiring new staff, and looking into expanding. Matt let go of my hands and propped his elbows on the chair back so he could press the heels of his hands into his eye sockets. His sigh gave away his frustration. I felt bad, but what could I do?
Franny, all those things can wait.
I'm sorry. Maybe after the season is over we can do something. He dropped his hands in front of him.
You want me to wait 6 months to spend time with my girlfriend?
We spend time together. We spent lots of time together. We're spending time together now. He looked at me with puppy dog eyes.
You call this spending time together? I rotate your pans in and out of the oven while you work in here, shuffling papers around and fiddling with a spreadsheet?
At least we're together.
When was the last time we went out for a romantic dinner? A movie? A walk on the beach? When was the last time we sat on the couch together without you falling asleep? When was the last time you spent more than a few hours away from the cafe?
I started to answer the last one, but he held up his hand.
Without thinking about it or talking about it or practicing a recipe for it or working on a new plan for it. You've been working until 10 or 11 o'clock every night for weeks now. If I want to see you, I have to come here and help you bake. If this is what it's like now, what's it going to be like this summer when the cafe opens earlier and closes later? I hardly see you anymore. Latte probably thinks he lives with me now.
Latte, my sweet, latte-colored Berger Picard dog. That's not fair. I spend a lot of time with him. We go for a long walk every morning.
Do you?